So this is just one of those kind of fun questions. It doesn't necessarily determine or change your mind or make you think about wanting to get a mortgage or to actually buy a home. But I had a reporter and an analyst ask me this question, and so it made me curious, and I did a little bit of research. So the question was, why do people move? And particularly, why do people move after they've been in a mortgage or a home for a significant amount of time, say like 10 to 15 years? So I did a little research, and I came across a study that was done by the Census Bureau, and it really, even though I work with people all the time that are making a move and as a result need to buy a home or do a mortgage, so I'm talking to a lot of people in these transitions, but it did kind of surprise my gut instincts as to why people move. So I thought I'd present it to you. This list is actually in the order of the most common reasons for moving down to the least common. And if you really were to think about it sort of from your gut, you would probably, as we go through this, you would probably actually flip this list as to why you think is the most common reasons that people actually move. So let's go through them. So first and foremost, as far as a category, housing related situations and circumstances are why most people move, followed by family related, and then ultimately by job related. And I would bet most of you would think most people move because of jobs. But actually it's a very low percentage of the people that move every year are actually job related in any way. So the top ones are housing related. Most common, and this one does sort of make sense, is renters becoming owners or owners becoming renters for a variety of different reasons, making that switch between the two. Obviously a lot of your first-time home buyers fall into this category, which is a big part of the market, particularly in our current sort of economic environment. We see a lot of renters becoming owners because of just the fact that it's actually getting cheaper to have a mortgage payment than it is to have a rent payment, as those continue to go up and mortgages are super affordable right now. Wanted a new or better home or rental. So again, for a variety of reasons, maybe career, maybe family, maybe household formation, those sorts of things. You actually just want to move from one size home or a particular category of home to a larger or a better type of home. Wanted a better neighborhood. We often see this particular case happening when we have household formations or we got kids involved all of a sudden. So maybe what was acceptable to us before when we were either single or we were young may not be as conducive. So we're looking for a different neighborhood. Wanted cheaper housing. This actually tended to be a fairly low percentage, but cheaper housing, just moving from one location to another. A lot of times a big portion of this category seem to be empty nesters or retirees downsizing. So getting cheaper housing. And then foreclosures and evictions, again, a very tiny piece of this overall category, which was the largest category. For whatever reason, weren't able to satisfy your mortgage or potentially evicted from a rental situation. So again, a very small piece of that. Family related, again, these things tend to make sense, but again, surprising that it's not a bigger portion of it. Change in marital status, so this can be household formation again, maybe getting married or actually divorces. Again, sort of changing that marital status will change the type of home that you will need in that particular part of your life. Establishing your own household. So again, that's household formation where we come together as a new household group or family context and getting a home to accommodate that new household. And then of course some meandering others within those family. And then job related, new job or transfer, to look for a job or lost job, and to be closer to work or retiree. One really interesting piece to this study, as you look at the graph, and you'll see that graph inside of the article that I wrote, but there's a really interesting correlation. They put it over a period of time that encompasses the previous recession that we had 2007 and 2008. And so even though this is the highest category, we saw a steep decline into the reasons people moved during that recession. There was a steep decline in movements due to housing related categories, all these categories, and a steep incline and if you sort of think through this, it kind of makes sense. In the job-related moves, so a lot of people lost their jobs or had to go other places or had to change careers and jobs and those sorts of things. And also, and I think both of these are sort of stress-related, the family-related moves increased as well. So these two categories tend to increase in a recession or a downturn in the economy. And this one tends to, so this increases in a downturn and these decrease in a downturn, and then they flip. So as we sort of move into this more economically prosperous time, we're starting to see these reasons tick up, and these tend to be a smaller piece of that pie. So kind of just a gee whiz question and interesting fact, but this, according to a couple of different studies, are the main reasons that people actually move.